This is High Vibe TV, the uncensored, guided, and community-based video TV network with content recorded and live streamed from the world-famous High Vibe TV studios. High Vibe TV delivers daily, weekly, and special programs focused on astrology, spirituality, history, community, and more. This is not your run-of-the-mill astrology and tarot. This is the future of spirituality, illuminating new ways the collective can step into the dawning of this exciting new dimension. The highest vibe is truth, and the truth always prevails. Download our awesome app on the Apple and Android stores so you don't miss our notifications, with special spiritual insights curated to the energy of the universe. Search for us on your TV with our exciting TV apps on Apple TV and Roku. Catch our vibe on your computer, where you can join in on the live chat with our amazing community and blog. Watch spirituality like you've never seen before. Download our apps or go to highvibe.tv. Subscribe now.
We do have Pluto in Capricorn that's still in shadow, but getting ready to come to this 28 degrees finally, and finally get close to coming out of shadow here. Reputation is a big deal. This is not a week to burn your reputation. So, this is where you have to be the bigger, better person, which North Node Uranus is all about that. This is a big week to not fuck your reputation up. And it's very important also to realize that your personal life situations do affect the outside world, your public life, your work, all these things. So how you deal with your personal life, what's going on in your personal life, you don't want to maybe throw everything into such an emotional way that nobody can handle it, but also at the same time, it's about connecting with others. Mercury going to start making its trine to Uranus by the end of this week. There's definitely a great way of communicating, especially to these kind of satellite energies of people and places, but also you don't want to be coming across as the person that just feels like you're the only one with a problem. You're the only one with the biggest problem in the world. That moon's also going to be coming into Leo this week and oppose Venus. Venus is going to make it all the way to the 9th and 10th degree by the time we get to Tuesday next week. And, it does feel like when I see this with Venus starting to square the nodes and the moon that will be squaring the nodes in opposition by the time we get to the moon, Leo, after this full moon, which the full moon, by the way, is on Friday. And right after we see that full moon, we see the moon oppose Pluto on Saturday. And then as we come into Sunday, and we're going to start to see, a lot different energy of this Leo, where it has to understand where other people are at, and it has to understand there's to be this fixed grand cross with the moon, Venus, and the nodes. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure on, whether it's our stubbornness or whether it's the way in which the things that make us feel good. I think that there's a way for, everybody to win, and also understanding that there has to be a counterbalance to everything. It just can't be from this Jupiter in Aries, like your point of view only. Like, you might be able to open the door, but how far will the door go is the big question that Capricorn's asking. Aries opens doors, but it doesn't mean it gets anywhere. So Capricorn is how it actually gets to where we're going. So we need to look at every situation, every emotional reaction, every over-dramatized emotion that we might want to express. And maybe it's not about shutting up, or it's not about staying silent in your life or silencing yourself, but it's a proper way in how we deal with things. And if we really want to open a door, we really want to get to the places we want to get to, it's about strategy. It's about, more importantly, understanding and not reacting, and also making those kind of satellite observations about things before we just go in full speed. This is definitely the time where mistakes become incredible with Mars retrograde that's stopped. Where you feel like, I'm going to take my big jump now. I'm going to take my big action now, especially with Jupiter that's really confident in Aries right now. But it has to remember right ahead of it is Chiron. So, we have not seen Jupiter and Chiron conjunct yet in Aries. So, in our lives, by the way, unless you were around back in the last time that Chiron was Aries in the 60s. So, I got to say that, it's definitely a very important moment for us to go, all right, this is going to be an important one where no matter what your actions are, we need to look farther and farther ahead. You don't want to be making actions that could fuck things up 2 months down the road, especially, right? Because that's when Pluto will come into Aquarius. That's when Saturn will come into Pisces. That's when Jupiter and Chiron will have made their conjunction. It's definitely not a time for you to be confident about things that are very childish or things that are extremely not nurturing to yourself. You do not want to cut off your nurturing. You do not want to cut off your abilities to have a connective point to help and to other people and to situations that, you know, you don't want to be the town, well, what was his name? Guston. You don't want to be Guston. You just don't want to be running around like, oh, I do whatever I want, and I can have this, and da, 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 she doesn't like me, I'm the greatest hunter, and I do that. You don't want to be that. You know, this is definitely a time to remember that even with the ability to still make things happen and get things going, there's just going to be a lot of things to where we want certain things to happen, and they're not going to happen this week. I just hate to be that bearer of truth, but that's just where it is. Mars is stopped. Right? Saturn, of course, is ready to test us coming out of shadow. By the time we talk next week, Saturn will be exiting shadow. And so I feel like, you know, these are moving us into places of how we really are going to start to see a lot of things that are actually developing right now, and starting to see the Polaroid picture as we, you know, start to wave it and dry it off. It's like this week we're starting to see the picture, but it doesn't mean we got it yet. And that can be frustrating. Or you could be not so much patient, even though Capricorn is patient, so is Taurus, but it could be patient, understanding, oh, I see the outline, it's going to be good, at least it's coming out. The whole big picture is, at least this is coming out. You need to be looking at everything as like, at least this is happening. And be appreciative that things are happening. At the level at which they are, there's still that to see. But it's the unseen that is going to be very difficult when we start to look at it from, it needs to look this way now. Like there's so much of the, I need this now. There's so much of this youthful energy and combative energies with this much more wise energy. And this is where it's easy to follow that moon and be full in Cancer and just, I want to feel this way now. And this full moon, don't forget, in a minor square to Chiron, right? So it's really an important time to remember to not allow yourself to just be like, I want to feel this, and this has not made me happy, and this isn't the way I look, and I want to feel, and it doesn't go the way I want to, so I want to make a change, and I'm just going to fucking do it. This is, again, mistakes. Mistakes are easy to make in this transit, and they come out of nowhere. Right when you think some event's going to go a certain way, or it won't happen, is right when out of nowhere it'll happen. With all this Uranus energy, to the Sun and the Moon, to Mercury, don't you dare think, with Venus in Aquarius, by the way, don't even dare for 1 second think, yeah, no, it's all set in stone. That's when we lose it, when it moves or it falls off the table. There's a lot of energy that, especially the frustration of Mars at the end of this retrograde here in Gemini, with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, is I don't have a grip on this anymore. I thought I knew the trail. I thought I knew where it was going. I thought I knew where it was all going to end up. And you know what? We don't still know exactly. We don't have all the facts. So we're jumping to conclusions that are negative. And we have to find a way to make sure that we don't do that this week. And I would say that we just don't. And we remember, I do have a reputation. I do have to be a model and an example for others without having to be a model and example by saying to people, be this way, be that way, you're doing this wrong. That's not going to do well either, because then that puts you in a position of I know the right way and you don't. And we don't want to be coming from those places. This is a trigger week. A trigger week to where stubbornness and your own way and I have to have this, and especially I keep getting this from my intuitive, and then this keeps popping up with me when I'm like thinking about this astrology, especially, you know, just even knowing that Venus is on its way towards Saturn, and Neptune, of course, is done with having Jupiter with it, and it's all alone and it's waiting for Saturn. There's subconscious or things that haven't been addressed or things that are like floating in the background that need to be dealt with, and this is a great time to take care of those things. But it's almost like an easy way to subconsciously put something on the outside as a problem and not deal with what's actually happening and throw that on the opposite energy, or throw that onto a new energy and put that this is a problem in my life and this is the issue, by not facing like what you're not attending to, what you're avoiding, what you're not dealing with. It reminds me of bills that are piling up, especially this North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio. We're going to see Venus square these nodes. We're going to see the Moon square these nodes by the end of this week. We have a comet that's on its way to be visible that hasn't been seen in over 50,000 years. And so this comet's coming in and it's making us become aware of, like, you know, a lot of these things that are from far away, or they feel like that they take a long time, but they will come to pass, or they will come to show. And I think that it's going to be a very important week to, instead of throwing, well, the universe is going to stop you on purpose, and it's going to make you go, what are the circumstances that the environment is at that's making you stop? You're going to have to look at the cold hard truth. You're going to have to look at it from the adult table, not from your emotional table, not from the kids table. You have to look at it from the adult table. And that's where others come in. That's where the Uranus trine is to the sun. That's where this full moon in Cancer is. You want to feel better? What do other people have to say? Without getting triggered, because it's probably going to be wherever your problem is a deep issue that needs to be addressed. And it's usually issues, especially with South Node being in Scorpio, and Mars and the South Node are now getting close to their quincunx as Chiron's leaving and that yacht is opened up and gone, that has to deal with subconscious or things, debts, karmic past, stuff like that that you're avoiding. Now, if you're confronting those things, it's almost like, it's like been a lot of work. Trust me, paying debts, taking care of taxes, doing all these Scorpio things, and not just calling them blind is difficult, I know. Trust me, it's not fun, but it is where the North Node in Taurus can make you feel secure. It's like, you know what, even though it fucking cost me, even though I had to go work more and harder, Taurus, everything's better. This is going to test where everybody's comfort levels are at right now, dealing with their own journey, but how the journey is with others, but more importantly, the bigger purpose. Are you an adult? Are you a spiritually evolved being that is handling situations like an adult, or are you being a child by it and you feel like you need mothering? And so this is going to bring up, if you have mother issues, or you have a mother issue situation, fucking extreme. Because it's going to be like, this is where the issue is. You just wish mommy would come and take care of you, right? Or you wish in yourself that you knew how to be a mom to yourself and you don't know how to be one. But it's really about being the adults in the room in Capricorn. The positive of this full moon in Cancer is that we can have all the emotions, we can have the comforts, but we got to be able to look at things from an adult place. We have to be able to understand strategy. We have to be able to clearly start to define what is worthwhile and what is not emotionally. We have to also at the same time maintain an understanding that we need to think of the long term here about our choices and our actions and our decisions, and that this isn't the best week to take some sort of wild and crazy action. Accidents, Mars retrograde in Gemini with Mercury retrograde and opposing a full moon, with Mercury retrograde trining over to Uranus that's stationed. This is, you don't want to end up in an accident in your life, your physical life, the highways. Like, this is definitely a very important time to pay attention. I've been through too many Mars retrograde transits to tell you the last week of Mars, boy. They are not easy, they're difficult, and they can fuck with us, especially in the areas that they're ruling. So if it's Gemini, communication is fucked right now. Mercury retrograde, your own attitude about things, your stimulation about things, your understanding of how accidents, crazy environments, cars, travel, all these things that Gemini rules your environment have to be looked at in a frustrating way, because you just can't do it the way that you want to. You're going to have to go, wait, the universe can't, wherever there's the resistance and it's not happening, it's like, what's the truth? Are you ready to look at it? And it feels like there's big decisions, but really it's more the decisions of, have you looked at the truth yet? Have you honestly looked at it? And that's what Capricorn's trying to say to everything right now in the mix, and even Saturn in Aquarius, right? And with Venus heading towards Saturn, it's like, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of good stuff. You have to look on the other side, which is Neptune and Jupiter, and that there is, but there's Chiron there. There's a lot of healing. And this full moon, it reminds me of healing things. Take this week to heal things. Take this week to heal the emotional situations going on, instead of trying to whisk away and take control and take a big, powerful, radicalized idea that you don't even realize has zero truth to it, and it's avoiding whatever the truth is. Take the easier steps on yourself by, it doesn't have to be fast right now, and that's okay. It's about learning how to take each moment and enriching yourself. It's about having a better perspective. It's about not over-dramatizing things. It's about not getting lost emotionally with Moon square Neptune to start this week off in Gemini, right? With the Moon trine Saturn too, they start this week off. It's saying, look at the smart way to look at how to put things together, and how anything that's not coming together right, it's like, analyze it. Is it really that it's not coming together, or is it just something simple that just needs to be adjusted, or is it a complete halt? Wherever the complete halts are at, or where the universe is saying, that's not going to happen, there's a reason. There's a reason.
This is High Vibe TV, the uncensored, guided, and community-based video TV network with content recorded and live streamed from the world-famous High Vibe TV studios. High Vibe TV delivers daily, weekly, and special programs focused on astrology, spirituality, history, community, and more. This is not your run-of-the-mill astrology and tarot. This is the future of spirituality, illuminating new ways the collective can step into the dawning of this exciting new dimension. The highest vibe is truth, and the truth always prevails. Download our awesome app on the Apple and Android stores so you don't miss our notifications, with special spiritual insights curated to the energy of the universe. Search for us on your TV with our exciting TV apps on Apple TV and Roku. Catch our vibe on your computer, where you can join in on the live chat with our amazing community and blog. Watch spirituality like you've never seen before. Download our apps or go to highvibe.tv. Subscribe now.